Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. It's been a while. I know I'm very sporadic when it comes to posting stuff. You know, I got to get through the real part of life, work, job, all that good stuff. Well. Where are we today? Oh, welcome to Frank's Corner. Hello, everybody. You know, my fellow Bobcats coming to listen. Hello. I hope everybody's doing well. We're about ready for spring break. I hope everybody's excited about it. Hope everybody's got some good plans. All right, so Donald Trump has started the war with Iran. Oddly enough, what's so funny is he's stated this when Obama was running that he was going to start the war, said when Biden was there he would start a war, then said if Kamala Harris won, she'd start a war, all with Iran. But the fucker that started the war was Donald Trump. What's interesting about all this is you have a lot of players involved, many countries. And I guess when you get many countries, that would make it a World War III. Although Donald Trump and them can't make up their mind whether it's a war or not, since they go back and forth. That Donald Trump says a war. Of course, Donald Trump said today that we won, that Iran has failed. And the funny part is, there's no proof that Iran's failed or we won jack shit. Just him saying it. Of course, he starts the war and then says, "Hey, we won the war." And he concluded it. He's the man of peace. He's not peace shit. Of course, he's talking about Ecuador and Cuba, so get ready. More wars are going to start under this clown. But what's interesting about this war in particular is there's big countries at play here. Russia and China are helping Iran. Russia's giving intel to Iran to strike U.S. troops. At the same time, Donald Trump lifted an embargo on Russia's oil so that they can sell, so now they can get more money to bomb Ukraine. And I'm guessing everybody thinks that we're going to forget about Ukraine because we've got what's going on in Iran going on right now, but I don't really think that's actually going to happen. Also saw another distraction from the Epstein files. There's a JAG lawyer that pretty much just point blank said that Trump's raped a minor in the Epstein files. That's pretty much what he said. I found that pretty interesting. What can you do? Trump is just, I don't know. The dude's got like 9 lives, so he keeps getting away with all kinds of stuff. And, unless we all stand up and start hollering, it's going to continue. Our country, though, is in the toilet. This is no longer the great country I grew up in. This is a fact. So, oil is going up. Gas prices are over $3 a gallon right now. So that's definitely 100% opposite of Trump. Trump said he wouldn't be getting into any wars. He's got into 9 so far. That's opposite of what Trump campaigned on. So, I mean, I didn't expect any different. The motherfucker lies. So whatever he said he was going to do when he get elected, he damn sure would do opposite when he got in office. But of course, I still have some dumb family members that think this dude is something. Was there an imminent threat to the United States from Iran? No. And that's really the only way Trump can actually put troops on the ground over there. So right now he's in violation of the Constitution and just committed some more war crimes. I don't expect anything less from this dummy. But let's talk about other stuff that's going on. The job figures just came out for Trump's last quarter. We lost. Take this, understand. We lost 92,000 jobs. We didn't create a job at all. We lost 92,000 under the Trump economy. We lost 92,000 jobs. So you talk shit about Biden, but Biden was actually producing 100,000 jobs per month. So we were actually making jobs and getting people to work. Donald Trump is actually in the negative. Isn't that interesting? Our economy is not good under Donald Trump, but he thinks it's going to be good. I find that interesting. I'm not sure, you know, the man's delusional and anybody that follows him is delusional. And, Kristi Noem just got through under the bus and removed from her position and put in some other imaginary position that Trump's made on his own. I'm curious at how long that this country that I grew up in, is going to stand for Donald Trump's antics. I feel like that people in this country have lost their mind to an extent. You want to bypass what our founding fathers put together. You want to follow some insane lunatic that's running our country. Republicans ain't got the balls to do anything to rein this piece of shit in the White House, which is another sad thing. Now they want to rig elections. And let's talk about that, since there's Trump's talking about federalizing elections. Understand, Mussolini federalized elections. Adolf Hitler federalized elections. Vladimir Putin federalized elections. When you federalize election, it's just a fake election. Yeah, you have people go out and vote, but you're the person that you're running this campaign and that's in control is the one that tells you who won. There's nothing fair about an election like that. That's just Trump saying, hey, I'm just going to reelect myself. Because I'm the one that controls the vote. We get all the votes here. Nobody knows what the outcome is. We've got this we're in a 911 situation. I don't even know how to say it. We're in a 911 situation. And the only people that can actually change anything are us. I've said this before many times. We all need to raise our voice up against this scenario. Go to protest. Don't sit around and just do nothing. You sit around and do nothing. You're part of the problem. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. You're part of the problem. I hear a lot, I drive Uber. I have for, a while. But I hear a lot of people saying, well, what can we do? We're just one person. No guarantee my one thing's going to help. Even when I vote, I don't believe my vote's going anywhere. This last election, that might be correct, because I think, again, I'm going to stand on Donald Trump and them rigged the election. I'm going to stand on that. They 100% rigged the election. Donald Trump isn't the elected sitting president. He's the fucker that committed voters fraud. And we're kind of stuck right now. But hey, I'm wondering what's everybody's thoughts. What's your thoughts on what's going on? Sit down and really mull it over. I mean, another thing that's come out is the military personnel were told that, this was scary, but Donald Trump is a messenger for Jesus. Here we go. He's a messenger for Jesus. And Jesus wants him to start Armageddon. Let him start Armageddon. That's his job. His job is to start Armageddon. Russia, the end of the world. That's what what military personnel were told by their commanding officers. I don't even know who could believe that Donald Trump is a messenger of Jesus. That bitch, he's a messenger of the fucking devil, if anything. The Antichrist. He ain't definitely no messenger to Jesus. But I got family members that probably think he are. That's how smart those family people are, man. Yeah, I got some family members that sit down and kiss the boots of Trump. And again, most of it's, well, he's putting God back in the country. Well, I didn't know God left the country. I'm sorry. But as far as a government, we've never had God in the country. The The Constitution says just exactly the opposite. So you're trying to put God into a country that we don't want God in the country. I personally am Christian. Don't get me wrong. I have my relationship with God, but I'm a firm believer of the Constitution, and I don't believe that the government should be pushing any religion. And I'll go back to what the Bible says. The Bible says to teach for religion gently, teach about Christ gently, teach about God gently. It didn't say ram it down people's throat. You ram it down people's throat, you have a tendency of getting people to run. You know, that's just how it is. People don't want to be forced to do anything, so they'll go the opposite direction. You know, I'd hope that, people can see that, but apparently there's some people out there that are too stupid to really look at it. Too, what would Jesus think about what's going on right now? Yeah, he wouldn't support Donald Trump in one little aspect of what he's doing. Jesus taught love, not war. And then on top of it, we bombed a school full of girls and killed people there. And Hegseth and Trump just ignore it like it's no big deal. Well, the casualties of war. Well, casualties of war, my ass. That's the same thing fucking Russia was doing in Ukraine. So now we're just as good as Russia is. And then, we have no credibility anymore at all. Donald Trump has run this country, 100% ruined it. I don't think we'll ever get back to where we were before Donald Trump took office and started dismantling this stuff. Republicans are to blame as well for letting him run amok without putting him in check. This is a fact. I suggest everybody write their representative and let them know that they are the ones that created this monster. And they should be held accountable as well as Donald Trump and everybody on his administration. Of course, Pam Bondi's got a hearing coming up. Of course, everybody knows the bitch lied, committed perjury in the last hearing. So now we're going after her for that. We need to get her and put her under the fucking prison somewhere too. She's protecting those pedophiles. She's protecting Donald Trump and his pedophile ass too. But people are just so stupid. I'm gonna give a plug for Dean Withers because I like him. But he was talking to a mega female that he just asked this question. Well, if I could prove that someone that represents you is a pedophile and went back behind stage to see young girls get naked, would you support them? And if I could say, if Donald Trump did this, would you support him? Then she played his interview. Then he played the interview with Howard Stern, where he admitted, and of course, understand what pageant Donald Trump owned. It was Miss Teen USA. Miss Teen USA. There was underage kids there. So he goes back to the dressing room to see underage girls naked and said he could get away with it. But it just fascinates me, Trumpsters. It fascinates me. My Uncle Vern, yes, I'm going to put your name out right here, who has this big delusion that Trump is going to save us. Trump is destroying us. And as we crumble, he's still too naive and blind to see that we are being destroyed. He doesn't care. He does not care. And I just find that crazy. And any of that part of my family all support Trump. They do not care. They don't care about justice. They don't care about transparency. They don't care about anything. Donald Trump is in the office. And this man is God to them. And that's the craziest stuff I have ever seen in my life. I just can't wrap my mind around it because it's just that bad. I don't know how people don't see the crazy stuff this fella's doing. And of course, I'll say it again. He's destroying the country. He's destroyed the country. I can't say he's still destroying it. He's already destroyed it. We have no credibility. Our allies won't do anything for us. He's, turning his back on allies we've had for a long time. And now that they don't want to join his illegal war, which is a war crime. Don't worry. He's committed war crimes when it was Venezuela. He committed war crimes when it comes to Iran, and when he goes into Cuba or Ecuador, he's going to commit some more war crimes. He needs to be convicted on the stage, and when he fucking takes his ass out of the United States to visit another country, he needs to be put in handcuffs and put in the damn prison. Because nobody in this country has the balls enough to put him in check. That's just the way it is. But anyways, I'm not going to make this really long. I just want to give my opinion, on what's going on, and it's a sad scenario we're in right now. If you're again religious, and with what people said Trump said in the military, that he's working on Jesus, the authority of Jesus and what Jesus told him to do. That's actually being told to our soldiers. I'd be tripping if I was in the military right now. I'd be tripping. I'd be like, what the hell? Yeah, no. But again, not everybody's that smart. Some people believe stuff. Some people might actually believe he is appointed by Jesus Christ. That is something I have to keep in my mind. Some people might actually believe that. If they do believe it, I'm again fascinated with that fact. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here and try to enjoy the day. It looks like it might be sunny. I think the sun's coming through the clouds. We'll see. I appreciate everybody that comes out. Thank you for coming to Frank's Corner. Go Bobcats. Let's hope everybody has a nice, safe spring break. Everybody be safe. Peace out, folks. We'll talk to you again later.
We are heading towards perhaps $5 a gallon of gasoline right now at the tank. That's where we're headed with all of this. More American lives will probably be lost. This is horrific right now. What is taking place? This is absolutely, absolutely horrific. Let me know what you all think. And subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching. Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also give memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.
My husband, when did you get so big? His confidence hits different with Rougiette Ready. It dissolves under his tongue, works in 15 minutes on average, and can last for up to 36 hours. Rougiette Ready is the first ED formula with apomorphine, which helps fire up arousal signals in the brain, combined with sildenafil and tadalafil to amplify arousal and performance, not just blood flow.
This is what happens when you take InnoShred GLP-1.